You're climbing with Jesus. It's steep. The air thins with each step. Silence surrounds you, but something in the air feels different, like the mountain itself is holding its breath. You reach the summit. You expect prayer, quiet, maybe rest. Instead, the sky splits. The light changes. Jesus begins to shine. Not glow, shine, radiating like the sun. His face blazing with a light not found on this earth. His clothes go white, whiter than lightning, whiter than snow. White in a way that almost hurts to look at. Then two men appear, not from the crowd, not from the village, not from this world. One is Moses, the man who once met God in a cloud and glowed from it. The other is Elijah, the prophet who rode a whirlwind of fire into the sky. They are not ghosts. They are alive, standing, speaking with Jesus. You want to run. You want to stay. Your heart pounds. Your thoughts race. Your knees tremble. You are standing on a mountain caught between two worlds. The mystery. What is this really about? This wasn't just a supernatural moment. It was a divine disclosure. This was heaven breaking its silence to drop a clue. No, a confirmation about Jesus' true identity and his mission. But we're meant to ask, why now? Why them? Why here? And why this display? Well, let's examine the pieces of this puzzle. Clue number 1. The visitors from eternity. So we have Moses and Elijah. Why these two? Moses, the giver of the law. Elijah, the fiercest of the prophets. Together, they symbolize the entire Old Testament, the full span of God's promises and prophecies. They show up not to teach Jesus, but to stand beside him, to honor him, to pass the torch. What were they talking about? Luke 9 verse 31 tells us, they spoke about his departure, which he was about to accomplish at Jerusalem. The word used is Exodus. That's not a coincidence. Just as Moses once led Israel out of Egyptian slavery, Jesus was preparing to lead humanity out of sin, death, and spiritual bondage. This wasn't just a pep talk. It was a briefing for a rescue mission. And the timing? Just before Jesus began his walk toward Jerusalem, Gethsemane, and Calvary. Clue number 2. The glory of Jesus. So, why the light? Why the transformation? Jesus didn't become divine on that mountain. He was already divine. But for the first time, the veil of flesh was pulled back, and the disciples saw the eternal glory that had always been inside him. It was as if heaven whispered, let them see who he really is, just for a moment. And when that light broke through, it shattered the idea that Jesus was just a teacher, just a miracle worker, or just a prophet. He was, and is the radiance of the Father's glory. Clue number 3. Peter's reaction and the Father's voice. So Peter, in classic Peter fashion, panics. He sees Moses and Elijah fading and says, "Let me build 3 tents, one for each of you." In other words, let's capture this. Let's stay here. Let's not lose the light. But just as he speaks, a dense cloud surrounds them, reminiscent of the cloud that covered Mount Sinai. Then comes the voice, deep, thunderous, unmistakable. "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." And God doesn't tell them to admire the light. He tells them to obey the Son, not to build around the glory, but to walk in it. The solution, the message behind the mystery? Well, the Transfiguration was more than dazzling light. It was a prophetic blueprint, a roadmap of the gospel in one mountaintop moment. Jesus is the fulfillment of everything the law and the prophets ever pointed to. His coming death was not defeat. It was a divine exodus that would set all people free. And the light was not for spectacle. It was a preview of resurrection glory. And for the disciples and for you, it was a warning and a promise. The path ahead will be dark, but the light you saw is real, and it will return. So the Transfiguration wasn't just for Peter, James, and John. It was for you as well. For when your faith wavers, for when the valley gets deep, for when the cross seems like the end, it's God's way of saying, "I showed you the light on the mountain, so you'll remember it in the night. My Son is not just a man. He is glory. He is the new Exodus. And if you'll listen to him, you'll walk through the valley with the fire of the mountain still burning in your soul." So, friends, let me ask you, have you been to the mountain? Have you seen even a glimpse of who he really is? Well, once you do, you don't stay the same. You see, glory doesn't leave you untouched. Light doesn't leave you in the dark. And maybe, just maybe, God is still showing glimpses of that glory today. In your pain, in your prayers, in the quiet places. Look closely, because heaven still crashes through when you're willing to climb the mountain. God bless you, my friends.